My name is Abbie Robinson. I was born February 7th, 1995. When I was a little girl, I was very quirky. I got in a lot of trouble because I like to ask a lot of questions. I like to kind of break the norms, anything that I could do, not really for attention, but just to shock people. I really like getting the shock factor out of people. And I think that's something that probably hasn't changed much. And so I think that from the time I was a little girl, I really was interested in tattoos. And I remember my brother having tattoos and thinking, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait until I'm big enough to get one of these. I was 17 when I got my first tattoo, which is not old enough to have tattoos, but my parents signed for me since I was getting the tattoo for a good reason. I have 4 tattoos. 2 of them are on my back, one's on my forearm, and then one's on my bicep. Whenever people see my tattoos, they tend to have this like preconceived notion of me that I'm trouble. The tattoo on my forearm is lyrics to a John Mark McMillan song. He's a Christian artist. And it says, "Harbor me in the eye of the storm, I'm holding on to the love you swore." This tattoo is my testimony. The reason that I got it and where my story with the Lord really starts is when my brother passed away. I was 17 years old whenever Lee died. He had skin cancer, and he had been in and out of remission 3 or 4 times. He battled cancer for 2 years. And every time that he had another bout with cancer, it was just like, oh, well, you know, I grew up in church and my family's a praying family, and so it was like, well, we just have to pray. And then the cancer came back. And I found myself really questioning God and thinking like, why, Lord, if you're a good father who wants good things for his children, then why would you heal my brother only to have him get sick again? Whenever he was in the hospital with his the last time that he was diagnosed when the cancer was in his brain, he was unconscious for 3 days before he passed away, and he only woke up 2 times. One time was whenever his wife came in, and the second time was with me. And I was sitting in the room with my mom and my best friend and him, and my mom was just praying, and we were all just kind of like a little upset. We were just sitting there, and I just felt really moved to read the Bible to him. And because I knew that I would probably be upset, I asked my mom and my friend to step out so that I could just kind of spend some time with Lee. And I just opened up the Bible just to wherever it was, and I opened up to Job. And so I turned to the first chapter and I started reading, and when I got to the 3rd chapter of Job, Lee woke up and he opened his eyes and his face was completely normal, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey," and I said, "Hey Bubba, what?" I was like, "Am I bothering you? Do you want me to stop reading? Do you want me to keep reading?" And he said, "No, keep reading." And so I kept reading Job to him, and he closed his eyes and he went out, and that was the last time he ever woke up. Why, if my brother was such an awesome man of God, he would take him away, but then there were still these people who did these horrible things and they got to stay. And I didn't understand that, and I didn't understand why the Lord would do that to my family. And I was just really, I had a lot of hatred in my heart towards the Lord for a long time, for a long period of my life. And then, I think it was probably August of 2013, or 2012, I'm sorry, August of 2012, my cousin invited me to go to church with him. And I didn't want to go. I didn't want anything to do with the Lord or church or anybody that even liked God, because I didn't like God. So he invited me to go to New Spring, and I went reluctantly. And the pastor talked about, you know, he was talking about there are people going through a storm in your life, and you're saying, God, why are you putting me through this storm? But what you need to understand is the Lord isn't putting you through this storm. He's walking through your storm with you. If you know me at all, you know I'm the most stubborn person on the face of this earth. So I left that day, and I was still angry, and I still didn't want anything to do with God. And that was on Sunday. The following Tuesday, I was in my car on the way to school, and one of the last things that my brother did before he died is he had put a John Mark McMillan album on my phone. And I hadn't listened to it yet. It was just kind of there. He just was like, oh, you'll like this, so he put it on there. And it shuffled to one of those songs. And it was early, and I kind of wasn't paying attention. And at the end of the song, it says, harbor me in the eye of the storm. I'm holding on to the love you swore. And that was when I broke down. I had to pull off on the side of the road. I was crying. And that was just kind of where the Lord met me. And I could just feel like him saying, I'm with you. I'm right beside you. I'm walking through this with you. I'm not putting you through this. I'm not putting your family through this. I'm in the middle of it with you. And so, I thought about it a lot, and I thought about things I could get to represent that. But I think that those song lyrics were the best representation and served as the best reminder for me of what the Lord did in my life.